So I just wanted to check that the admin account. I mean, yesterday we were trying it, right? That got created or not? The Rajesh admin administrator account.
I did not check. We'll check today when I share
Okay.
my environment. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. Yeah.
Remind me when I share. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So with regards to managing Windows updates, okay. So usually what's happening, nowadays most of the companies start, I mean, they've already started using Windows Update for Business, and they were already using Windows Update for Business. I'll start saying UFB. So WFP is again, uh, you can see it's a client level settings. It's not specific to Intune. Even without Intune, you can still manage Windows Update for Business policies through GPOs, through SCCM, or through any other means. You can manually also enable those policies. You can change the local group policies also. So it is not, it is a tech, it's a, I mean, it's a method, or you can say a technology in which Windows updates pulls the updates from the Windows update servers that is hosted by Microsoft servers. Even if you don't have Intune or SCCM GPU anywhere, you can still use the Windows Update for Business policy. That is how Windows Update agent works now. Okay, if you click on check for updates, it's nothing but it's querying based on your UFB policies. And if there are no UFB policies, the default is check for the latest updates. Okay, so clearly, as you can see, this is a separate component from Intune. Intune only delivers policies, not updates towards the devices. Intune will not download any kind of update from the internet, and it will not store any update, and it will not go ahead and deploy. Okay. And you all know the differences between feature and quality updates. So quality updates are nothing but security and non-security updates that are released every second Tuesday, mostly. And there could be some other out of the band patches that Microsoft releases. The feature updates, traditionally it was XP, during XP and Windows 7 days, it was Service Pack 1, Service Pack 2, SP3, all of these. And now later when Windows servicing channels started, it was biannual. And that is where you saw this terminology of 23H to 2302, 2109, okay, 1809, 1803, all that. It is nothing but year for the first two digits is 18 is year, and then 03 is March, or 09 is September. So those are feature updates. Okay. So there's only two updates cadences that we have that are hosted in Microsoft services. So what is, I mean, just to understand the difference, if you look at, everyone knows Windows Server Update Services. Okay. That is there for a long time. And many of the servers even today, which are in your private network or in your private cloud or even in the data center, they have a separate service called a server called as Windows Server Update, Windows Server. They on that Windows Server, they enable this feature called as Windows Server Update Services. And this is responsible for patching most of your servers. Okay. And this is the same mechanism that was used in early 2000s for those organizations who really don't have budget to invest in tools of patch management. Okay. So these were always uh, uh, yeah, so the I mean, there's nothing but a server. You download all the patches locally to this server, and you push these binaries to these machines, and these will be automatically installed using the client intelligence of WEA agent. So what has happened over the years is they means SCCM as well. SCCM will now start integrating with WSS server, and it uses some of the WSS functionality to pull updates and batch updates, so that within the SCCM console you will see all the list of updates, and you can granularly control the delivery of those updates to the client machines, and the reporting you are able to see it again in the successfully reports or waiting for restarts, all of those reports in the SCCM servers. And that is from the updates to the services. Uh, the same mechanism is how it was there even for the even for other third-party client management. I mean the patch management tools. There was a product called as Shavlik, right? So Shavlik was specifically for patching endpoint devices, and that tool was sold to VMware, and then VMware sold it to Ivanti, and Ivanti patch management solution. That is how it came. And there was semantic trace, big fakes, yeah, and then SCCM mainly, okay, for client management. All the functionality is still the same. Their capabilities are to download it to the local server and deploy it through their distribution servers or data servers or tier one, tier two, whatever the whatever their architecture that they have for their respective products. Okay. But during the same time, see the products evolved when it was always offline. And when I say offline, and they were always in office computers. Most of the computers were always online, connected to intranet only. Okay, so most of the employees used to just log off, not even log off. Okay, just log or even log off, but they were never powered down. They were never shut down. Office computers were mostly never shut down. Okay, so they were only shut down during the weeks. Okay, and they were disabling the shutdown button also. You only log off and log on. So that the remaining non-office hours, the SSCM admins and all, they used to push updates, policies, everything during non-office hours. That was a trend. But the laptops evolved. Everyone started using laptops. Now they are gone home, right, and powered off. And so that is when SCCM added a feature called as long if your services are not available, if your server is not available, the second option I'll fall back to fetching updates from directly from Windows Update, right? If this same assume that this is a laptop, if it goes home, it'll retry to check if it has access to SCCM server for updates. If not, this will directly go to Windows Update to fetch updates, right? So that is how it became a secondary fallback option. But as if there are more clients in most of organization, SCCM, I think in 2013-14 time frame, where there was some update, where the default option was to fetch from the internet. You see how the product evolved based on the how the laptops were always there, right? So how many client computers in the world are behaving. So everyone started issuing laptops after 2010, and everyone worked from home. Everyone worked remotely whenever they want, attended meetings. All that was happening mostly, and that is when they realized most of the updates should now start coming from the internet as the first preference, and unless there is some other option. And then second preference is always Windows Update for services. If it is an internet connection, if it is an intranet connection, of course, yes, the preferred method is your SSM server, and then followed by Windows Update agent. And with that in mind, now there are two different evolutions. One is these updates were all individual updates, okay? And after Windows 10, we always only have a cumulative update. Okay, so cumulative update is nothing but like, you don't have to download every update. Whenever you get the recent update, the update includes all of the previous updates. One update, like, even if you miss January, February, March, but if you update your April updates, it includes all of your January, February, March updates. So that's the meaning of cumulative update. So with cumulative updates, everything was instantaneous, and the entire mechanism now changed. Now you will not have anything like selecting individual KBs and then deploying, right? Everything is a single KB. Okay, and then after Windows 10 servicing cadence, channels, everything changed. They've realized now Windows Update is the gold standard to update patches, no matter where you are. Now they've realized the delta of updated patch is always less than 500, 400 MB, and internet is free. Internet is nowadays it's not really challenging to get access. And then that is how they started, like, no, let's find it. I mean, the Microsoft vision was thought that, like, let every client download from the internet. Okay, that is where they have started to add this Windows update for binaries from Windows 10 itself back in 1603, all that 1607, starting from 1607. The little bit was there in Windows 8.1, but the entire Windows update for business really kick-started from 1703 Windows 10 operating system. Uh, this is nothing but a mechanism where the same Windows update agent queries the Windows updates. It sends the existing updates database and then checks what are needed for the existing computers, and those will be downloaded. Okay. They'll be downloaded into the software program data software distribution folder, and then it'll be executed. So those are all the policies that we are deploying. Okay, so this again is the differences I was talking about. Was again straightforward. It's a Windows Server role and it can be managed from SCCM. It does not have direct access to Windows update servers. Okay, administrators can manually approve updates, but here it can be managed by GPUs or Intune. Devices connects directly to Windows update servers. Administrators cannot approve selective updates. That is a catch here. So, okay, now what does Intune really do? Again, same thing, right? So these are defined by something called as the policy CSP. Now we can actually use the UI to create all of these update ring policies. Okay, so this policy CSP will write appropriate values to the Windows registries, and then they will be merged into the policy store. All that we'll see when we talk about CSP. But basic idea is there is a separate CSP for only Windows update. Okay, and here this is again it relies purely on as you can see, there is something called as a session orchestrator. They should always be running these. This is, like, it is responsible for uh, pulling and checking all the updates. Okay, so if this is not running, that your Windows update agent will not even start. I mean, it will not be not it's not kickstart it. This is responsible for kickstarting the Windows update agent. Okay, so we should always just check these two things. Okay, so there's only one thing. Okay, so what we really need to understand is it is a service which needs to be running for automatic fetching of updates. So again, uh, how actually it does. Okay, so again, we can talk about it, but mostly people with already Windows update should already know this, who are working in patching teams and all. They should already know it. But the first of all, it scans. Okay, so normally what is happening is everything scans. Okay, and once it scans, there are some updates, but here it says IT admin approvals, locals and all. Okay, but it can be either on the client or either on the service. So irrespective of what it does, our orchestrator is shown the updates. Okay, if IT admin is nothing but in the server, but in the client, there's no one, it automatically installs. And then it starts initiating the downloads. And then Windows Update downloads all these manifest files. And okay, then there is something called arbiter. And then this evaluates and tells the Windows Update clients to download all these files. Okay, all that is again shown in the Windows Update log. Okay, so we will not even see any of these errors there. Okay. The only errors that you will see is not able to reach the Windows Update agent Windows Update.microsoft.net. That's only 90% of the errors many people see. And Windows client or your Windows Update agent is corrupt. Apart from these two, you will not find many of the common errors. So Windows Update client downloads files in the temporary folder. We all know that. And then that will stage, and then finally the orchestrator initiates the installation. Okay, so what it basically saying is we have one arbiter calls, which is again a driver in connection between the pulling of files. These are all DLL files. These are programs which pulls the files from the folders that we specify, which is your temp, where it local downloads are happening, and then it will execute based on the commands that is already and hard coded. Okay, it's just a programmatic way of installing. Orchestrator is all responsible for all that. And then again, this is again responsible for reboots also. And hence, this is the only service that is important. Okay, all other services play a different role, but the with the Windows Orchestrator service is the only service that is responsible for all update agents. So now, and by the way, if someone really wants to become an expert on updates, okay, it's a separate thing outside of Intune, outside of any product, because even on the servers, even on the clients, if you feel that you are a part of an update team or are worried about your updates, you can just Google it, which says Windows Update agent functionality, all these keywords you search. There are so many blogs, there are so many Microsoft internal articles, which explains in detail how each and every update is pulled, how it queries your Windows update, what are the products, what is happening basically is it takes all of your software inventory. It takes all of your hardware inventory, your device name, model name, your recent updates, last updates, your operating system main version, and it sends all the data to your Windows Update Service. The Windows Update Service now calculates and sends back what is needed. Okay. So again, internally there is a policy where if you put the deferral period of 30 days, don't need any patches, it calculates a different date and sends. Okay. It sends the deferral day. And that is when your Windows Update Service will give you the old update, not the new one. Okay. So that is the mechanism. Okay. So it sends a query, it queries your existing Windows data, queries to Windows Update Service, and gives back the returns the results. And then again, it only returns the results, right? And after that, orchestration service is where it connects, it hooks a file to be downloaded from their Windows Update Server. But this is what the page you see. Okay. This is your settings. I'll explain the settings when I'm opening the page, and this is usually what you get in the default ring. As you can see, there are two ways you can confirm. If you go to your client, you will see policies and you will see an update. So if you see an update, which means that you will already have policies deployed from the MDM agent. And you'll also see this, some settings are managed by your organizations. Okay, it means that someone is managing these updates, you will probably not have much control on it. Even if you don't control on it, you will come to know. But and if you click on this update policies, you'll see what is the type. If it was a GPO, it looks like this. If it was the MD mobile device management, it means that the Intune has pushed an update here. Okay. So again, you might see this common and when it comes to hybrid environments. Okay, so in the hybrid environments, what happens is, as I told you, right? So Windows Update for Business was there from 2015 and 2016, and most of Microsoft made a publicity on how you can actually enable them, even if you had any other third-party services, third-party solutions to deploy patches, and that is where most admins actually enabled these updates, okay, which Windows Update for Business policies in their group policies. Okay? At least for servers, they did it. For clients, they never bothered because of they already had tools. And for those customers who have enabled, you might see these problems after Intune has been implemented. Okay, so that is what it says. So instead of unnecessary wasting time in troubleshooting while configuring itself, you better identify that those group policies are removed, okay? Or you can actually use the MDM wins over GP. So this is for your reference. It's already there in this document, Learn Microsoft documentation on how to check whether these policies have been correctly deployed or not. Okay, so the first checkpoint was uh, okay, so the step one, as you can see there, okay, all of these things you need to check on the client. The second space where you always check is the registry. Is a new registry that gets created after the policy, after the policies, because CSP writes this registry, okay? After the Windows update policy is created, that is where you will see this registry, and it gives you all the information, all the values here of what policy has been pushed, like this here, okay? So you can see all of this is there, your deferred policy updates and everything. Okay. The other fourth, again, area where you can see is this, okay? In your diagnostic logs, you'll always see these updates. Update is the area that where you need to focus, and the policy is this, and the default is this. And if you see the same as default, probably that did not apply, but your default is do and you change some value, it means that the policy is already pushed out and pushed out here in MDM. Okay, again, like any 90% of the Intune troubleshooting starts here and almost ends here. Okay, so it is in the device diagnostic logs in the event viewer. You go to Windows and Enterprise Management Diagnostics Hive here, you'll see admin, and this is where you see all of your admin device management admin operations here. Okay, so this is again where you can see, like, update, allow, auto update, area update. Okay, so there's the same policy, but here in the event log viewer. If you see any errors or warnings here also, you'll come to know what is the issue. Okay, mostly here 90% you'll find any errors. Okay, not able to update, a system error, and if you just Google that, you'll understand what is the issue. Application and service logs, sorry, yeah, it's the same thing here, and this is the policy state. What is the end thing? Okay, like always, you always have this one data collector logs. If you go on the client machine and type in Intune ODC, it gives you a script where you can pull the entire Windows client logs, right? So, and that is within that logs, once you ask, okay, say for example, if you're troubleshooting some update issue and you want to do some level 1, level 2 things and then give it to a different team, what you can actually do is just take these logs and you see, okay? So if you run these commands, uh, the Intune ODC, the Intune ODC gives you the registry keys and also the event viewer logs. Within the event viewer logs, there are some few log files, some text files as well, which gives you additional information. With regards to Windows Update, you might already see this update history and the Windows Update log. Windows Update log is a native Windows Update log. And this is again Windows Update debug log. Okay, it gives you more installation, internal error codes, or failed updates. So again, these updates, failed updates, all these error codes are there in the Microsoft logs. Okay, so you just need to capture just like any other troubleshooting, take the errors of the log and identify what could be the possible reason. If you only see the error on this 1, 2 machines, ignore. Okay, unless it's a mass issue, unless it's there in at least 10-20% of the devices, that is where you need to go further, do a you need to dig dive and then do some research and troubleshooting. But if it's somewhere in the world it occurs, you don't need to worry about it. Such things will always happen. So yeah, sample of the Windows update history log, you can see it has given dates, and it has told you which update has been installed on what date and time. Okay. Finally, on the okay, I'll talk about this later. Yeah, so again, I'll share this PPT. You can see what is all this. So it just explains what's the feature update policy exactly. Okay, and then the how all this is done. Okay, so you can only deploy policies if it's an hybrid AD joint or an AD joint, and this can be configured through Intune policies. But the main important thing that most of you all, there is documented, but we miss out on one thing is there is a service called Microsoft Account Sign-in Assistant. Okay, if you go to services.com, there is MWLIDSVC. It's actually enabled, but there could be some other reasons why that has been possibly disabled. Okay, some dependency or some other policy might have disabled it or like that. Okay, so then that is where you will never see feature update offered to those machine. Okay, so what is happening is if you click on update on a client machine, you will get monthly updates. Okay, so you will get monthly updates, but I'm saying when I say click on manually, you'll get monthly updates, but you'll never get yearly updates. I mean the feature updates. Okay, and that is because what's happening is in the backend, your device needs see, telemetry has to be enabled. Telemetry means it's nothing but some of the diagnostic data you need to send it to the Microsoft server, then it will give you return the result. And if you're not even sending which version of operating system you are, what updates I have received, this is the feature update that I have received, and that will be disabled when you disable the telemetry. Okay, and that querying will always need to be signed from a system account, and that uses the Microsoft Account Sign-in Assistant to do it in the okay, to register to that service. And when we actually disable that, the Microsoft Account Sign-in Assistant, when you disable it, the system will not be able to use that service to, I mean, authenticated service to post the data to the service, I mean, to your update service. That is where you'll never be, it will not even know what is your existing operating system version. And then that's why the Windows update servers will not offer you a feature update. Okay, it's well documented, well known, but you can always check that. And there is an option to enable this also. I'll show that. The feature update deferral period in the correct update ring must be set to 0. Okay. Combining update ring deferrals with the feature updates can create complexity. Okay, we'll discuss that. Okay, the feature update policy needs to be deployed to device groups. Okay, main important thing. User groups are not supported. Okay, keep that in mind. Many people see the policies will be deployed. Okay, there is no you'll see that in the reporting, but you'll start seeing inconsistencies because it deploys to system account, also it deploys to user account, and it's better to put device as a preference. And once you do that device, every logged in user along with the system user will get activated, but it will take the system account setting on the system will take preference. That is always how it has worked here in Intune. So deploy to device groups. See, deploy to the device groups wherever it is an organizational standard. If a setting is applied to every user in an organization, deploy to device. That is a thumb rule. Okay. Second thumb rule is if a setting is purely machine based and not user based, and after your testing results shows successful, you can go ahead and put it in a device group itself. The challenge with adding everything with a device group is when the device changes, who will track the device unless you have dynamic device groups? Okay, so never use manual device groups. No one goes and sits and adds devices, right? You will miss out. Even if you want to add, you'll miss the main important things, because these devices are represented by a unique GUID, not by the host name, not by the device name. Once you search with the device name, device ABCD, you'll find 3-4 entries already. Why? Because all are different. What you see, the device name really doesn't mean anything for Intune or Azure AD. So okay, so that is it. Mm. The feature updates policies cannot apply during autopilot. Yeah. So this again, that was a story long back. Now I have to change it. Why? Because the recent announcement that we have an option to download all the updates during the autopilot process itself. It's in the preview stage, but it'll be public within 4 to 5 months. But a lot of customers have asked, please provide an option where we can, at least at the end of the provisioning, where you can force the devices to download the updates, latest updates as per the policy. After that, user is presented with the desktop during the autopilot process. So this was, even now this is the default. It will not download updates. I think they will provide a toggle. I mean, they'll provide a yes or no button during the autopilot provision by the time it's publicly released. So that is that is what it is. Now you can, if you have co-managed devices as co-manager, feature update policies might not immediately take effect when they have newly configured. Yeah. Yeah, this is self-understood, right? If you already have a configuration manager who is handling Windows Update business for policies, and you suddenly change your workload to Intune, it definitely needs time to take updates because your system needs to understand that when it comes to updates going forward, it will not be your old SSCM client which is managing, it will be your new Intune which is managing. So okay. So yeah, that's again, it says I mean, the policy, you will not push it to the registry keys. You will not see any registries updates there. So the device is no longer assigned to any feature updates. Wait for 90 days. Okay, that's again thing. So this is what the basic prerequisite for a feature update. So feature update, as I said, it's main important thing. Okay, without that, your entire organization compliance will go out for a toss. So not just the monthly patches, even the feature updates are always important because they'll go out of support. So this, as I said, this is one of the service, what you see in the down here, Microsoft account sign in. These are the few checkpoints where you can immediately identify 80% of the issues are these, okay? I'm not saying only these are the issues. When you see our update, the update is only network issue. If you have a proper internet connection, when there is hardly any issue with updates. Okay, mostly internet connection, and if not, these are all the second level issues. And if not, you don't have to worry, you can just raise a case. Okay, so this is again, if confirm prerequisites are met, yeah, the same different periods. Safety, okay. This is again a very important thing. Okay, so this is the safeguard holds. Okay, what is happening in the safeguard holds is, though you're offered an update, if the device is not compatible, your device will stop updating. Okay? That is your basic terms and very uh, basic issue. Who holds the safeguard hold? Yeah, so it is a Windows Update Agent. sorry, Windows Update Service holds the safeguard tag for your device. Until then, it will not be offered update on the device. So a lot of things are there in the backend. You'll understand when we talk about the Windows Update Deployment Services. But okay, so again, the same thing here. Collect all the logs. These are all the logs you will see here. Okay, we'll talk about this expedite because it uses something different. Okay, I'll talk about. Okay, so now what I wanted to talk about here is we have these three things. Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see my notepad and now Firefox? I'm in
No,
my Intune portal. Yeah, I mean, did you say yeah or no?
no, Raj. No.
Or do you see now?
No. No. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So if you look at this, okay, people always get confused when it comes to updates. Okay, the reason being, of course, yeah. So as an administrators, we really don't need to understand what is there in the back end. Oh, the thing is, okay, where is updates? Okay, this updates thing has gone every place. It was here, it was there, it was here, and then all of these things are put here, and finally they changed it and made it a little bit decent. Okay, to understand what is the difference. Why do we have all these options? So this was there for nearly now, I think 8-9 years. Okay, this was always there. What I explained until now is this. Okay, this is nothing but your update rings, which is this. Okay, this is your Intune update rings. It uses a service or a technology called as Windows Update for Business. These defines policies and it defines the policies and it defines the machines. And these machines are pulls the updates directly from the Microsoft Update Services. And this is what it reads the policies. So far, I've explained only this, and that is nothing but this area. Okay. So if you look at these policies, okay, I create this policy and it has two set of policies. Okay. One is telling how when the update should download. That's all. It only tells when the updates should be downloaded. The other group of setting is after download, how should it be behaved? What should it be done on the system? So if you look at how and what updates needs to be developed, update settings, yeah, it's obvious that most customers will select these two. Microsoft product updates. Okay, if you look in deep dive, it involves all of the Microsoft products, including the universal applications, okay, including updates for the existing applications that are inbuilt with the Windows and drivers. The drivers which are provided by OEM only. Okay, if a OEM, okay, if you have suddenly a web camera update and then Dell has not given it to Microsoft on time, signed and tested, it will not be included. It will be probably included in the next month patches. So basically driver updates and Windows product updates. There will be no Office updates in the Windows Update for Business model. Okay, Office updates is a complete different mechanism, different update service, different product updates. Okay, it has a cadence of semi-annual channel, annual channel, and then monthly updates of Office applications. And within that Office applications, Teams application is an auto updating application. And that can be controlled in the service level. Teams update server. I mean, the Teams admin center. You cannot control a Teams application from Intune. You can push a registry. That is what the Teams admin center also does. You can modify, you can play everything with it. But typically, Teams is auto updating app, and the update of Teams is completely different. Okay, within your same organization, you might have the latest update, and your friends will not have an update. Even if you click on checks the updates, it will not probably get the update. Okay, so the entire update distribution pattern for Teams application is completely independent, controlled, and Microsoft owns the updates. Okay, no one can go and tell Microsoft, I want control. Why? Because you have already signed an agreement when it comes to buying Teams. Okay, Teams have that agreement. We are pushing the updates. You don't have any control. Okay, and because a lot of work is going on in the backend on how they push updates. They always check who is a frequent user, whom should I roll out the user. Everything intelligence is there with every Teams user in the world. And that is how they push updates. If you have agreed for semi-channel, your Teams ID, Teams app, everything will be in one cadence, and you'll be rolled out stage by stage, stage by stage. That is when you might have noticed people have got all these avatars, funny graphics when it comes to Teams, okay? But some others don't get it. Okay, so there is again, and you will get it 1 year later, who knows, okay? You might never get it. You cannot go and complain that I want it, okay? You can only opt for, there's option called and the Teams opt for beta, okay? That is even there, you might or you might not get it. And no one can question it, okay? So that is documented again. So that is about the Teams update. That is the story as of today. We don't know how everything will change. So the always people get confused that these Windows updates includes Office updates. Okay, no, that is what all I wanted to say. Okay, how are Office updates controlled? Okay, again, common interview questions. If these Windows updates are not included here, how are Office updates controlled? Okay, they are controlled using of config.office.com. Okay, so there again, I'll show you where it is. Typically, you don't control, you don't modify any settings, but you can do it. In the apps, while you're deploying an Office application itself, first of all, you will select you go to Windows application and select your Office, right? Right here, this is where you select, okay, which architecture, specific version, update channel. So these are all the update channels that are available. Current channel is where, okay, you understand what's, okay, these are the, okay, let's understand this basic thing. Current channel is a channel where everything is right now happening. Okay, if the development team has come out with some brand new feature in Teams, after all the testing, if they want to roll out, they'll right away put that in the current channel, that update. Okay, and once you click on, once you contact your Teams update service, then that is where, if you're a part of the current channel, you'll get that latest update. And once the current channel cadence is passed, which is I think 3 months, they'll put that in the monthly enterprise channel. So monthly enterprise channel is every month they keep updating. They add that new. See, whatever is tested success in the current channel, they'll put it in monthly channel, and all of the monthly channel updates they see for 6 months. They take all the updates, and then for the last 6 months they put it in the semi-annual enterprise channel. Okay, it depends where you are, how your IT admin has configured. Okay, So I'm talking about not Teams, okay? I'm talking about Office applications. Teams is a different thing. You don't have Teams control here. You have Teams control in the Teams admin center. Your Teams guy will do it, okay? You don't have to worry. So current channel, monthly channel, okay, enterprise channel are these how it is, okay? So if you want the latest update, go to current channel. If you want slow but bug-free, error-free, issue-less, go to semi-annual enterprise. Typically, all modern organizations go to current channel, mid-level organizations go to monthly enterprise channel, and security concerned organizations, banking, financial all go to semi-annual enterprise channel. They're always late. I mean, to be on a safer side. So this is how they're controlled automatically. You can modify using something. You can further do some changes. There is an option called in the same apps here. There is something called policy for office applications. Okay, so within these policies, you can change them. Okay, change where you can even I don't know what else you can do, but you can push all of your office level applications like signatures, date, time, Outlook policies, Word policies, templates, languages. There are some office policies you can actually look at whenever you have a free time here. Okay, so coming back to where we are today. So the first part, as I said, is the update settings. Within the update settings, you have product and drivers. And in the quality updates and deferral periods, what is zero? What is this? Okay, this is a quality update deferral period is 0 days, which is your security updates, patch Tuesday updates. When I say zero, what happens is when it queries, when your device queries, okay, it sends the 0-day deferral period back to the Windows update servers, and that is where yesterday if patches are released, you'll get the patches today. But if I put 10, okay, it means that 10 days deferral period. So if the patches are released yesterday, I won't get that patch yesterday patches. I'll get last month patches. I'll make -10 and then I'll see which is my latest patches. So if it is 13th today, if it is 13th, assuming if it's a 13th of this month, patches released. On the 14th, I go and check. I'll do -10. So assuming the 4th, from 4th date, it will go and check the latest update for that I received. Assuming if it is 3rd was the date when the patch was released, you'll get the latest update.
Okay, Raj, here I have one query. So
Uh,
if the patch Tuesday, right, the whatever the quality updates now will be released on patch Tuesday, like just consider on first it was released. I'm telling the date and Tuesday. So if I mention 10 days, so it'll exclude the first and the remaining 10 days it's going to calculate, or it will be from the past Tuesday, it will be 9 days.
See, two ways to calculate it. 10-day deferral period, I mean is, this is how easier calculation is. Today is the second date, right? June 2nd. And here is a 10 days. The way I look at it is from my date minus 10 days, which is 22nd, assume 22nd or 23rd of May. Okay. I'll think as mine is 23rd May and give me the latest update on the day of 23rd. So which is the latest update? So it could be any date before 23rd.
Okay.
It can be an update that is released on 22nd May. Okay, so that is a 10-day deferral period. So it won't download a patch that has released within the 10 days. That's all is the meaning for the last 10 days.
Last 10 days. Okay.
Okay. So if I put 30, it won't download the patch, any patch that is released since last 30 days. So till May 2nd, it won't query that update. So it will probably give an update which is released on April, not May. We are in June right now. Since it is 30 days, it will probably download an update. And all that when the device queries. It has lots of ifs and buts here, okay? Just you put 0 and the policy is there. It all depends whether your client queries it when you launch the laptop, when you keep the laptop for some time. Usually it checks. Okay, if I pick my laptop and show you, probably normal. You can pick up your laptops and then usually it checks once a day, right? So that is normal, always there. Last check today 3 p.m. So it's 4 hours back it checked. Okay. So only when your device checks. And if suddenly people who log in, log off, log in, log off, log in, log off, it'll never work. Okay. It'll check and again it'll download. Again, after it checks, it downloads.
How
After it,
frequently? Yeah, sorry for interruption. How frequently the device
I
will
think
check?
it's once a day it'll check.
Okay.
So it has to download. After downloading, the way download also works, you don't have any control. Windows level intelligence, the way it actually works is it checks your network bandwidth, it checks your whether there is a frequent Teams communication, Skype communication, and then any other WebEx communications, okay, internet communications, how busy your system. Only then it will start downloading 25% of the network bandwidth. It only consumes that. Okay, so only if your network bandwidth is free more than 50%, that is where it goes, try to fetch the data. It has no compulsion. I have to download patch, I have to download patch. Okay, so all that matters. Okay, and for the in all these conditions, if people don't keep the laptop for some time and go off, go online, attend the meeting, go have lunch, have tea, it's always log off, log. Those users will never get updated. Okay, so that is there always. Okay, you don't have any control. Yeah, same thing goes with feature updates. Okay, so here we have only 35 days. If I put 40, it will not accept. Okay, the last is 30 days. Okay, you can't hold the patches for more than 30 days. And here, same thing, feature updates. Okay, how many days? I can't put 400. Okay, so you can hold a feature update from a device to only 365 days. But anyways, I'm a tester. I need every day, every time. I'll put it at 0. But this is another important thing. Okay? Many people are trying this nowadays. If I click this, it will go and update a Windows 10 to Windows 11 freely. Okay. The user experience, of course, yes, they'll see a notification. We'll see a notification in the taskbar. User has to accept it. It downloads it. If there is a downtime, there's all easy, straightforward. But it'll never update. See, again, it has to pass all the prerequisites of Windows 11. TPM 2.0, EVA5, secure boot, and then 8 GB of RAM. Okay, so on a virtual machine, it'll work for 4 GB, 6 GB, but on a physical machine, when it is testing, it needs all of these. Okay, it will definitely upgrade. Okay, we have seen good success on that. Set feature updates uninstall period. Okay, feature updates. If, for example, you upgrade to the latest feature update, but you don't like it, you always have uninstall deferral period. Uninstall rollback feature where all these days, because every feature update there is always a windows.old folder created, right? You might have seen it in the C drive. So you can always roll back. That is a Windows feature. It is not a feature of Intune or anything. For 60 days, the windows.old folder will be there. Till then, you can always roll back. Even without an Intune policy, you can go to the settings and click on rollback. It'll, or on the updates, click on the rollback. You can always do it. So that, okay, you always have an option for pre-release builds inside a release or beta channel. This is again a very good thing for the IT to test it, IT test devices to see what are all the latest features that they have released. And active hours end. Okay. If at all you're working on a production system, this is the default. But the first thing that you all need to change is, let's understand this. Active hours start and active hours end is nothing but your working hours in your office. In my office, if you take employees come at 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., so that will be my active working hours. And this setting here, auto install at maintenance time, means automatically the updates will be installed outside of these hours, which is before 8 and after 5. It will not install because the maintenance time is the time when out of office hours. So these are the things that you need to consider. If this is the case, and if those people are really coming from 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., the updates will never be installed, right? So it is always better to put from, okay, something like, 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. as soon as they start office at 8 a.m. and then you can put it immediately till afternoon. That's all. Okay, for the first 4 hours only, let them work properly. After that, we'll assume, okay, because it will not update, okay? It'll update, it'll not restart, it'll give warnings for 2 days. Okay, so you don't need to worry, you don't need to think about any of the user experiences. Nothing will automatically restart. They will be given enough warnings to be restarted. Maybe Windows older versions of Windows 10 has some issues of notification, but Windows 11 clearly notification will be displayed here. You'll be able to snooze and you'll be able to snooze the restarts for certain time. And that is controlled here in the deadline settings. If you really want to use deadline settings, you can start using deadline settings, deadline for feature updates and deadline for quality updates. So even after 4 days, that when the person is not online, the person you'll see when he doesn't want to install, he snoozes, he keeps on postponing restarts. That is where you can put deadlines here. And you say auto boot before deadline. Yes, okay. And then you can give them a strict dates of 2 days, okay, and then 5 days, and then grace period of 1 more day, something like this, and you can deploy the policy. So whatever it is, click on this, click on, okay, I have already created a,
Raj, I have some query on
yeah.
that part. Okay, just go to that edit. So here now just consider active hours and start and end. Now 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, now just consider after this I'll log off my laptop. I mean, my job is done and just I'm moving out of the place. So that time still, even though if I'm not online, the updates will be get downloaded.
You mean log off?
Yeah, I'm log off. I'm just locking and I'm just going it.
Locking, yes. Log off also, yes.
Oh, okay. So it will be get downloaded automatically.
Downloads, yes, yes.
Okay. And one more thing, can you just scroll it down a little bit? So in that restart behavior, right? So here, this is 2 days and 1 days and one. Okay. So here it is just an restart behavior only, right? So after download, so quality update will be 1 day, it will be get delayed, then it will be get restarted.
Yes.
Okay. So here in the quality update,
Which one?
yeah,
Sorry. Which one you're saying?
use the deadline settings.
No,
User.
these deadline settings are to download the deadlines. Okay. So if you see, specify the number of days user before feature updates are installed on their devices automatically. If these, what is happening, if you're missing these things, these will come here automatically. Will be forced to install automatically. That is where if you see even without knowing, you will see an option. If you click here, you'll not see an option to, if I click like this, something, you'll not see an option to shut down. It'll say shut down and restart, shut down and update. You might have seen already, right, in your laptops. You'll
Okay.
not be
So
able to shut down
yeah. Okay.
because you will be forced to use, because that is a deadline policy.
So restart behavior, where we can control here after installing the updates, if device want to restart. Okay. So,
No,
but
that
we
is
are,
automatic. See, that is automatic. You
okay.
cannot,
Now,
you don't have any restart behavior like a third party application where you have that. Okay. It's an inbuilt feature of Windows 10.
no, like, if I'm a, employee, I'm working on some critical work and it got installed. And after installing, it'll get rebooted automatically, right?
See, uh,
So I don't want that to be happen. I
it will
want
not
this
get
to be,
automatically updated. You will be prompted. You will be prompted and you will be given enough grace time for 2 days. 48
huh.
hours will be given. People only ignore it.
If I want to give some more, I mean, 48 hours, it's a default for 48 hours, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You see here, it says See, I mean, turn off notification excluded restart warnings. Turn off notification including restart warnings. And these are the only things that we have here.
Okay.
In fact, I want to tell you that is always the case with update services, Windows update for services. Only thing is because there is an SSM client involved in it, SSM client had that option to display a UI where you can snooze for 4 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours.
What
Okay.
I understood that this user use deadline setting is a like a reboot behavior kind of stuff. Like if you mention 1 day, reboot will not happen after installing. It will get I mean after 1 day it will be get rebooted. It'll give the grace period of 1 day for user to reboot.
Is it? No, I
Uh,
don't think so. Let's see.
yeah, it says that user experience there.
Yeah.
User experience
Okay.
setting control the end user experience for device restart
Okay.
and reminder.
Where?
Yeah, it is on the top. After user experience setting control the end user experience for device restart.
Okay. See what it says. Automatic update behavior is the first setting.
Mhm.
Okay. The default is auto install at maintenance time. Okay. But anyways, this is not the one that we are dealing. Okay. This is your automatic behavior setting. Okay. So that's the
Huh.
first one.
Okay.
Okay. We are only worried about the deadline
User
settings.
settings.
Okay. Let's come. This is about, okay. It says clearly as it is. Updates automatically and then install during automatic maintenance time when the device isn't in use or running on battery power. When the restart is required, users are prompted to restart for up to 7 days and then restart is forced. Okay. The update behavior, I always thought it was 48 hours, 2 days. I don't know. So this is for restart is required for users to 7 days. This is auto install at maintenance time. You don't have control to 7. You cannot change this 7 days. Did you? Do not have any control here. Okay, let's come down. Auto install at restart at maintenance time. When the this is at the maintenance time. Okay. Auto and install. See the things are here only. If you're talking about the automatic update behavior in the user experience setting, here we have related to restart, auto install and reboot without end user control, auto install and restart at schedule time, and auto install and restart at maintenance time. Okay. So if you are talking about the fear thing about this is what I'll select. Auto install and reboot without end user control. No user control at all. You'll not even have any notification. This is a inbuilt Windows update behavior notification. Okay. So now I'll get a notification. Auto install and restart at maintenance time according to this documentation. Auto install at maintenance time. It will, if I select this one, the first one, it will restart whenever it's required. Users are prompted to restart. But here, auto install and restart at maintenance time. Let's see what happens. So it will update, downloads automatically and then install during the automatic. The device isn't running on. When the restart is required, the device restarts when not being used, which is default for unmanaged devices. Okay. The option, this option can restart a device automatically after the device update installs. Use the active hour settings isn't described in the settings. Both are used by Intune and define a period during which automatic restarts are blocked. So what it's saying is it will restart during the maintenance time outside of the office hours automatically. This is auto install and restart at schedule time. What is it saying is it will install. So you have to see as soon as you select what happens on a scheduled day, scheduled time, we'll get this time every week, every Thursday. All this will not work, okay? This no one will sit exactly on the same date and same time. It'll work if it is an on-premise server and all, but laptops and all it anyways. But what this means is if unspecified installation runs at 3 a.m. daily, for if I selected 3 a.m. as a specific day, no one will turn on the laptop on 3 a.m. right? So example, followed by 15 minutes countdown to restart. Logged on users can delay countdown and restart. Okay, it says logged on users can delay the countdown. You'll get a pop-up here and say they can delay, but still and restart automatically. Auto install and reboot without end user control. Updates automatically and then install during the automatic maintenance when the device isn't using. So when the restart is required, the device restarts when not being used. This option sets the end user's control pane to read only. Okay. In other words, the uh, uh, the end user control that we have restart in the updates, it will be only read only. Reset to default. Okay. If you go to, restore the original auto update settings on machines that run on Windows 10 later. When reset to default, this will automatically determine active hours for the device. Okay, this will automatically calculate the active hours, schedules the best time to install updates and restart the system after updates install. It checks automatically. Okay, this is the EDU restart, which option is not there in the UI. Okay, so this is again performs restart checks. This is the default one. Intune uses this one, but it's we don't have any control because this is the default CSP. No other values that we have there. Okay, default is allow. We don't want to change it. Allow is what is there. Okay, so allow restart checks, battery level 40%, user presence, all that will check and then it'll allow to restart. Skip is this one. Okay, updates will be allowed to start even if it start. Okay, all that options are there. Restart checks is not there here. Will not be able to control unless you are able to use group policy. The real deadline settings are this. When you set to allow, you can configure the following settings for deadlines. Specify the number of days user has before feature updates are installed automatically. Okay, there's only the deadline settings. If the first fix, it's just like a backup. Deadlines are nothing but your normal policy doesn't work and it'll now start checking and then I mean, that is where it deadlines for restart, deadlines for quality updates, deadlines for reboot. Okay, this is a grace period. What says specifies the minimum number of the days after deadline until restarts occur automatically. So mainly this is your restart period. Specifies the minimum number of days after the deadline until restarts occur automatically. Okay, so I think this is where restart will be happening automatically if the person doesn't restarts after all this, after the deadline updates.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, I don't want to use them. Okay, what's happened? That's a policy that we deployed yesterday. We'll see if I can log into my screen. Okay, while this is logging in, now we have seen something called as these three things: feature updates, quality updates, and driver updates. Anyone using it currently? Okay, while this logs in, the feature updates, quality updates, and driver updates. Okay. The thing about them is it's a new product actually. Okay. So everyone thinks that it's just part of the update modules or Windows Update for Business. The new thing is called as, where's my notepad? Yeah, see what we have done is Windows Update for Business, right? So far we have done that. It is nothing but your update rings. The settings that you see there on top, it is called update rings. So that is what follows in Windows Update. What we have, other thing is Windows Update for Business. Okay. Deployment services. Okay. What you see here is feature updates, quality updates, and the driver updates. So you can obviously see the challenge at this moment, right? I mean, with the first one, which is there for nearly almost for last 8 years, 9 years, people found it as challenging because they don't have any control. Okay, they don't have much control. When I say they don't have much control, they'll not be able to push on a single device, or they don't have any control on an emergency patch. Okay, suddenly someone releases a patch for some 0-day vulnerability or something like that, and your security teams comes and says you push a patch, push a patch. Okay, no, you don't have any control of that. So with this, it's a new product. What the reason being is in the backend, it is Windows Update for Business, but they built a new deployment service where your device registers to that deployment service for any specific updates. It's a huge topic. Okay, so if you're interested, you can actually go Windows Update for Business deployment service is a very I think last year it went on. Okay, it has nothing to do with Intune or anything. It's purely a Windows feature. Windows team has added and they are maintaining the backend service. Okay, where you register your device to your deployment service, and there is something called as a client. Okay, this is how it actually works. The Windows update for okay, this is a deployment service. Okay, let's read what the documentation says. It's a cloud service within the Windows Update for Business product family. It's a part of Windows Update, and it's designed to work with the existing Windows Update and the Windows Update business reports. The deployment service provides control over approval, scheduling, and safeguarding of updates delivered from Windows Update to managed devices. This service is primarily focused in backend focused and are backed by industry-leading compliance certifications. Everything is in the backend, but you don't have to do a lot of work. What I mean, people have created APIs, SDKs, and also some of their client applications to use the Windows Update deployment services. Okay, I'll give an example. Your admin can use a Teams channel API, and Teams channel plugin to reply to a plugin just to say that update all my devices. It's a chatbot kind of thing. It says update all my devices in my estate, all Azure AD registered, enrolled, joined devices to so and so KB article. One sentence he'll put. Okay, and that this Windows Update Business Deployment Service